Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Patreon podcast. This week I wanted to talk about blockers, which is something that I have been running up against quite a bit for the past couple months. As you're probably well aware, over the last couple episodes, I've been talking about Pandemonium and the Plunge demo and Quiet Spaces Volume 2 and Let the World Forget Us, and like all of these things just kind of pile up against each other. And usually the problem is there's like one thing that I just really don't want to do, and that causes me to not want to do any of it, which, as you would imagine, is fairly dangerous. Like, I'm lucky in the fact that I don't have a deadline for this, but it's also a problem for me that I don't have a deadline, because then I'm not like really pushed to actually finish anything. And I really, really want to do that. In this case, currently, my blocker is doing sound effects for Plunge. I very much so want to finish this game and get it out there. And it, like, technically it is out there, but it's like a tutorial level and one other level, which is not terribly interesting. So I'm trying very hard to just like finish it and get it out there. But these sound effects are important and I want to do a good job with them. And it's very hard for me to just be motivated to do that. And because of that, I can't finish the game. And because I can't finish Plunge, I can't fix up Pandemonium and I can't do all this other stuff. And it's just like, I set this order in which that I wanted to complete these projects. And since I can't finish this one small facet of this one project, everything behind it is blocked. And I'm trying very hard to get past that and just keep moving forward on things. And I think I talked a little bit last week about taking small bites, I think. And I think that that's just what I've been doing. I've just been trying to make 1 or 2 sound effects a day while I manage all the other things that are going on. And I'm slowly getting there, even though it's only like a dozen or 20 sound effects. It's just enough for me to just be like, man, I don't want to do this right now. And typically that's what I use streaming for, because then it allows me to just sit down without distractions and just hammer through things, that I have people that keep me company and like hang out and talk. But I haven't been able to stream much lately because my schedule's been super screwed up, and I've just been very tired because I've been helping my wife with an art show. And so it's like all these things are compounding on top of each other. And I just kind of started to realize that this was kind of the big problem that I've been dealing with lately when it comes to motivation and just keeping things moving forward. And this is not an episode specifically just to complain, as much as it sounds like right now. I wanted to kind of bring this stuff to light because it's important to recognize this stuff, to recognize when you are blocked. And there are a couple of ways around that I know of. One is you can take small bites out of it and just keep working on it a little bit every day, which is fine if you have smaller projects or smaller facets of a project in this case. Because then eventually you'll get done with it, like within a couple days, and then you can keep moving forward with the rest of it. If the thing that's blocking you is a large project, something that you can't take small bites with, then you have to have that conversation with yourself, whether or not it's worth pursuing at the moment. And it might not be. There's another talk that I wanted to do in a future episode called Obligations, and just kind of talking to yourself on how important something is for you to complete or not. And there are some projects that just don't get finished. I have many, but that is something that I'll get into later. I thought I had a third one. I think the third one is just to be aware of it and to just buckle down and do it. And that's like the least helpful one, honestly, because I think that like it's telling somebody who's depressed to just stop being sad, you know, where it's just like, well, if you don't want to do the thing, just sit down and do the thing and then it's done. But most of the time I've found that when I do actually get myself, like force myself to sit down and work on it, the amount of time it takes to actually complete the project is orders of magnitude smaller than the amount of time I've spent putting it off and actively procrastinating to not do that project. So that's something to keep in mind. Like that's not a solution that's very easily manageable, because again, it's just like, just do it, dummy. It's like, that's not helpful. But sometimes if you have that energy to just sit down and hammer through it, that's a great option. And I mean, that's why I say streaming works really well for me, because it gives me that energy to sit down and just hammer through it. So I think that works very well in that instance. But yeah, that's, pretty much all I've got for this one. I really do appreciate, oh God, kids outside are yelling again. So I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for being a Patreon supporter. I really genuinely do appreciate it. And thank you for listening. I think I got those in the wrong order. I can't remember how I do these anymore. Man, the last couple months have been so crazy. I hope that you have a fantastic Friday and a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you in the next one. Be remarkable.